have a healthy disrespect for the traditional approach to human behavior, which is mostly the psychology theories. And two, I think we realize that human behavior is far too complex to be looked at it only from one angle. And we need to have a multidisciplinary approach while we're trying to understand human behavior. And as you see in the later part of my presentation, you will see the same flow as it goes along. Now, when we started, Final Mile in 2007, the world did not even, there were no books. The nudge and obviously not even nudge and, thinking fast and slow, all that came in much later. The nudge unit in UK or all the other, they all happened much, much late, at least a few years later. And I remember meeting Professor Taylor at Chicago booth where he invited me because he was surprised to know that a firm far away in India has read some of his earlier books and earlier papers and actually had applied that and then were solving some real life problems. So he wanted us to share that with the students in booth. But over the years, I think that pioneering approach that Final Mile began in the world continued up to 2018 when we decided to become part of fractal analytics. And I'll speak about the significance of that at a later point of time. And as we move forward, I think, as we were understanding more and more of the functioning of the brain, more and more about the facets of the heuristics and the biases, I think there were four core beliefs that sort of guided all that we did. One, neuroscience gave us very clear directions or clear indications that 99.9999% of the processing of the brain happens at a non-conscious level. And consciousness is playing a very small part in the decision-making process. Second, unlike what we had realized that, rationality and emotions are two separate things and ideally emotions should be kept away, that's been our traditional thinking. Mostly the work of Antonio Damasio and some of the neuroscientists clearly established that all human decisions involve emotions. And so we need to really understand the emotions that are involved in every decision if we have to really influence that particular decision. Of course, we all know the importance of the heuristics and which behavioral economists actually brought to the table. And so we need to understand those heuristics if we have to understand the decision-making process. And the fourth, which is actually the topic of this particular conference, I think